then you're like,
I gave everybody my jizz voice, so I'm coming.
Welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We're the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith.
Otherwise, I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
What's funny is before the cast even started, we're both just like really monotone, just like, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. All right, you're ready. And then you're like,
I gave everybody my jizz voice, so I'm coming.
Hold on tight. Gross. Oh, Lowry. You made my job easy to find our opener there in the first 30 seconds.
It's going to be
gonna be weird. It's like, yeah, the opener.
The voice. and then the voice 30 seconds later.
Like, I didn't have to wait long for this at all. Oh, all right. Well, starting off good. This is episode 134. What are we talking about today, Lowry? You don't even know.
No, we got like set product stuff that came out like a week and a half ago at this point. We are a little bit late on this week's
Magical News.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing today.
And so Zendikar Rising is starting to come out, and a lot of really cool cards that we're not going to talk about.
Not yet. We'll talk about the one thing that is released and special and all this set, but
sure, yeah. And then after that, we're going to talk politics.
Oh, we just lost all our listeners.
Yeah. Sorry. Fuck.
Oh, we just lost the rest of them. Thanks, Larry.
What the one set thought we were.
You know what's funny is I'm going to bleep that part so people don't even know what you said there.
I think that's smart. I'm all right with that.
But we're talking politics in Commander games, not talking about politics. It's you did this whole segment wrong. You just went.
I don't have these kind of notes.
Shit.
I just had my comments on the RNC and DNC conventions, and I thought people cared about that too.
Yeah, it's that time of year. Then that's what your arguments, and I've already been in tons of arguments with my family, and it's been fun. So, in fact, I had to tell my dad to stop talking about stuff, and he wouldn't, and so I got up and walked away from the table in the middle of dinner. We just sat down.
Just sat down.
We did. We just sat down, and I was like, Dad, just stop talking. But I gotta say this. I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. See ya. And I just got up and walked away. So yeah, I'm sure everybody else is having these fun conversations with their family and I don't know, friends. I don't know if it's pretty brutal out there. Anyways, let's not get into actual politics here. What are you drinking, Lowry?
Water. I'll be drinking water for a while.
What happened? You caught my virus. No, I was kidding.
Legit had gout in my toe. And it fucking hurt. It hurts. It still hurts. God damn it. I'm at a week and a half right now, and it's way better. But I'm pretty sure I contracted it from you. So just talking about it for like 3 weeks straight. I was like, aha, you had gout, dummy. And like a week and a half later, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And my toe swole up. It sucked. Aww. That's like the nicest sounder you've ever done for me.
Well, I am drinking something that is given to me from one of our listeners, Mr. Jeremy. And this might give it away. I don't know if you saw this or not, but here, listen for a sec. 'Cause I saw Tiger. Now I understand. Do you know what this is at all? No. Oh, you didn't see the Tiger King? You didn't see the Tiger King?
No.
Come on, Lowry.
Remember when you told me that I had to watch it and I said,
didn't?
No, I did not have to watch it? I didn't watch it.
Oh. Well, Jeremy gave me, this is part of that peanut butter and jelly pack. So he gave me the peanut butter and jelly. Okay. And then this is the third one. These are the huge cans from Montgomery Brewing, but it's Tiger King, the beer.
Oh.
It's a feature or Sabro. I don't know what that is. Was that? Am I saying it right?
Sabaros.
That's what I was reading in my head that way. Sabaros juicy hazy double IPA. I don't know. That's good. Nice. It's pretty delicious. Yeah.
Tasty.
So I do have gout. Not right now. I don't have a current flare up. The stuff has been working pretty good, but mine still flare up. I feel your pain, Lowry. You feel my pain now.
I feel your pain. You had it first because you are you're 13 months older than I am. So
don't worry, we're cousins. We share everything. So get ready. You're going to dislocate your shoulder next.
That I am not active enough to probably do that.
Yours will probably be after you win a game and you patting yourself on your back from dislocating your shoulder by doing that. That was a bad joke.
Depressing to think about. I hope it doesn't happen that
was a bad joke. Yeah. I'll hang it up after that. All right.
All right, no more jokes for you. That's okay.
One big news thing. Tomorrow is our final inspection. So then we are in the clear and ready to actually close on
then the construction. You actually live in the house?
So the funny thing is our camper not our camper. My mom dropped her camper off here that we can now use, and we're actually selling our camper that we lived in for a year because we're just like, I don't want to deal with that. There's too much to fix on it. We're just like, we just put it on Facebook Marketplace today. Anyways, her camper's parked out here, and so I was like, let's just tell them that we were living out there, and we just come in to like shower and whatever, but we live out there. And so they're
not even going to ask.
I know.
I wouldn't even worry about it. And there's recorded evidence that you're lying, so probably not do that either.
This whole part is just a big bleep, or it just cut out.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Beep. So, they're probably not even going to ask. Yeah. I won't even be worried about it.
Well, I'm taking the boys and the dogs, leaving the cat here this time, and then we're just going to go for a walk down at there's a trail not too far away. So, and the other big news is Drake had his first day of school today. So
yeah. That's probably a proud papa moment, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy because you couldn't first off, you can't, we could have him on the bus, but they say if you can drive him, just, less chances of spreading COVID stuff. And then this week they had half the class in today, and then that other half is tomorrow. And then, I don't know, it's the younger kids. Elementary, it's full-time. Middle school is like a hybrid system, and then high school is that same thing, at least up here. I think the cities is pretty much all online for high school and up, and then
it doesn't. I have no idea.
I think it differs from school to school and all that crap. So, but yeah, that
just depends on however much money the school system is trying to get. And that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I know my stepmom, she's a nurse at the St. Paul schools, and it's not just the public schools. She also does like the Catholic. All the Catholic schools are in full session. Like,
of course they are.
No, there's nothing because they're going to pray it away so they don't get the virus. But
because that super worked with the gay.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But yeah, so she said they're in full session, and then all the public schools are online with. The hybrid part is the kids that need to be there, like don't have computers or whatever. Those are the ones that go into the school. So cool story, Hansel.
Yeah.
Let's talk about magic.
God, this sucks. That was our politics segment. No problem. Boom.
You're lucky here because I can't reach the buttons with my right arm because that's the bad way to do it. So you're not going to get as many like drop-ins of me making fun of you or anything. But
this might be our best show for a while.
Oh, damn it! I can't even get to the make. That.
No, that was well worth it.
All right, so we are starting with this one.
Magical news.
Oh shit! No, we're not even going to do magical news yet. We still got to do our tags and all that. It's like we haven't done this for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and we
I'm so excited
for you to press
that button 5 minutes from now.
Well, there is one big thing that did happen this last month, and for the first time since COVID started, this was our most downloaded. The month of August was our most downloaded month ever, which I didn't think we were going to get back to that for a while yet, because numbers really dropped.
It was a while. It's like 6 months at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like COVID's gone. You know, I didn't think we.
No, but people are like a lot of people think that it's gone.
Yeah,
and forced back to work and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we kind of blew it out of the water. The last one, I think it was back in like January or something like that when we had our last one. And so we are saying thanks, because every time we beat the previous or the record, we're going to give away stuff. So this month, what are we giving away? We're doing kind of a little bit different this month for the giveaway. So yeah,
I think we worked out that we're going to give away a Teferi Master of Time from Core Set 21.
And that'll be a borderless non-foil.
Yeah. Badass card.
Oh, I love that one.
And I believe that was going to end up being the Twitter giveaway when whoever
right. Anybody from our
retweet. Mm-hmm. Retweeting is the most important part. If you want to leave a comment, that would be great, but that doesn't help us either.
You can leave a comment, but retweet and follow. Retweet and follow.
But yeah, you got to be following us, and we will choose one random lucky person from that retweeting pile to get one of them.
And then the second part of it is we are giving away a foil Teferi Time Raveler, the promo foil. So it's the one with the little planeswalker symbol, because those are the smartest ones that go after for the foils.
And we're here about. For you.
Yeah. But we're going to get you for any of the patrons. So anybody that's $5 or more by the end of this month will be entered in automatically, and we will do a drawing on that. So no need to retweet. You just need to become a patron of $5 or higher, and then you're automatically entered, and then we'll do a name draw at the end of the month for that. Mm-hmm. So that's to say thank you guys, because I didn't think this was going to come for another few months until really things swung back in.
Yeah, and I just want to say I'm very disappointed that we didn't do this earlier. This is all you guys' fault for not downloading us and listening more.
Bunch of assholes. So now we're berating them. Thank you guys, but you guys suck because this didn't happen sooner. It's the Minnesota thing. It's the backhanded compliment. No, it's
this is good cop, bad cop, right?
Yeah, right.
That's what we're doing.
All right. So now we can do our tags. That's where you can go on Patreon, the $5 or more. That enters you in this giveaway. But also, if you just do $1, that gets you into the Discord, or where fun stuff happens there, and you can play games and stuff like that. You're playing Thursday. I might try to play Thursday. Depends on how this week goes, because that's day number 2 for their Drakey.
Oh yeah, because it's every other.
Yeah. And then the free way to support the show is jump on YouTube, subscribe to our page, and that is all. Go to Twitter. That's where you can see that we are now 2 days late. But yeah, so that's where you can check out also Proxy of the Week and sharing with myself, and then other cool stuff, because now we're being a little more active, because we said we would be, especially you, Larry. I noticed. Good job.
I'm trying to post cards from Zendikar Rising, so we'll see what happens after cards go away.
Yeah, then you're like, what do I do next?
I don't know. What do I do with my hands? What do I do?
Put your hands down, Larry. Put them down. No, put them down to your sides. There you go. All right. And then the last place, go to Gmail, and that's where you guys can shoot us emails, song suggestions, and we might do those sometime. And then if you're a patron, that's also where we can communicate with proxies and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. All right. Now back to magical news.
Press that button.
I'll do it really quick. Okay. That's it. That was really quick.
I'm going to wait until timing-wise it should be over.
All right about now.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. So a lot of stuff happened since our last cast, because we pre-recorded. So we didn't... Well, this came out... When did this come out, actually? This is
just
dated
last week, but we're just recording 2nd. Late, so it's like a week and a half. And then people... so it's a week and a half definitely by the time.
So you've probably already heard this a bunch on other casts or whatever else, but you haven't heard us talk about it. You want our 2 cents? Because I think now it's kind of set in a little bit. we were going over it beforehand, and I still was confused. There's so many different things that are with just Zendikar in itself. Like, what's all in this? So we kind of wanted to go through that, and then also what was revealed for the next year. Do you want to hit that first? Should we say what the next stuff is happening?
For the next year?
Then dive back into Zendikar a little bit?
Yeah.
I think that sounds good. Okay, so we got Zendikar Rising, which is coming out in a couple weeks here. Then followed that is...
It comes out...
The 25th is what I... Yeah, 25th. So not this Friday, not next Friday, the following Friday.
Commander Collection Green comes out December 4th, and that's where you get 8 powerful green cards. Then only 6 of them are actually green.
Yeah.
And then you get a green-hued command tower and a green-hued soul ring.
I'm going to say the hard part with all that, and we kind of talked about this on Discord and stuff, is I think those are good if you can get them for, they don't have retail price, but they're suggested price, but they're not going to be, you're not going to be able to find them because you're getting, sure. And you can choose with these to be foil or non-foil. Make them foil because Soul Ring does not get a foil that often, and neither does.
You can choose between
foil and non-foil. So like the non-foils were supposed to be.
That's for the secret layers now, right?
That was also for the secret layers, yeah. But this is also this was supposed to be 60, I believe. If I'm not positive on that, but I thought it was 60 for the non-foils and 80 for the foils.
Yeah, you fucking get this for the $80 for the foil because Sylvan Library is in this bad boy.
Right, Sylvan Library. But then think of this: Soul Ring has only had a handful of foil printings. Same with Command Tower. That has just the Judge promo type. I mean, I can look it up really quick, but I mean, there isn't that many. Right. So those in themselves, besides the next set, they're going to do each color. They're probably going to do those in there as well with the hues and all that. But still, for this one, especially being those are the only ones that are in foil, those are going to be in high demand. But it's like you had talked about before. This is kind of like a from the vault. So it's not being printed to demand. This is isn't it just for the stores?
It's just for like brick and mortar stores, I believe. I doubt you'll find this at Target.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, like if you do,
good
that's
luck.
Sweet. But I
was really excited when I didn't know that it was actually just for the LGSs. Now that it's just for the LGS, I'm like, well, probably not going to get that, or I'm not going to be able to buy that for like under $160 to $170.
Yeah,
because that's what the markup's going to be.
Kind of like the in-store beautiful boxed fetches that came, in the 5, and they're all had that. It was like,
here's our suggested
retail is
price,
like $160,
and
like
the store is 300. Yeah,
that's what this is going to be like. So we should probably move on.
Because
nobody's going to see this in store anyway.
Yeah, so it's frustrating though, because I don't know, whatever. That's just me, because I know we have a lot of our listeners are I'm not saying I don't support the LGS, but it's like I've said before, is I never buy necessarily from the LGS. I started doing that recently because I know one of the owners, but I still will go eBay or whatever because it's cheaper. And then to make something that's like that just for an LGS where they're just going to fucking spike the shit out of it, it just grinds my gears.
And not even put vodka in it.
Yeah. But
moving
on. Choke drums. Damn it, my shoulder.
You can use your right hand, right? Your other one?
I guess I could have moved this to the other side. You're a smart one.
Cal Time is going to be a new set that's sometime probably in February.
Q1. Yeah.
January, February.
Mm-hmm.
Right around when Theros was released this last year.
Should be interesting because it's inspired by the Vikings, but the thing is by the look of the words, and I've heard other things, is might be seeing some snow stuff, and they've been doing a little bit more snow, with Modern Horizons and all that. Could be interesting if snow covereds come in here, like snow covered lands.
That could be fun. Yeah. I think that'd be really nice. But I mean, and Vikings make sense. They have the thought of snow and ice at times.
Then we go into, it looks like next on the list would be the Time Spiral Remastered is what comes in order, at least from one of the lists I'm looking at. And that's freaking crazy. There's a lot of people that love it because it brings the old border back. Personally, my taste, it's meh for me, but nostalgic wise, it's pretty cool, because the old border and all that. What do you think with it?
I think, there are definitely a niche that like the older borders, and so they're taking newer cards and putting them in older borders. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Proxy Guy do that, right? He's done some old border stuff with that.
And they'll do judge promos like that with Crucible Worlds, and they've done it with Sword of Feast and Famine. But I think it looks really good. They have like Path of Exile, Chalice of the Void, and some other cards that are pretty good. And, they're going to have shit cards too, obviously.
Yeah. But it's just more of putting in that old frame and everything. Personally, I like the full art stuff, but there's a lot of people that do like this. So then next on the list is, what do we got? Oh, Strix Haven, right?
Yeah.
So that one, what is that one? Oh, that's the one that I heard.
That's the Harry Potter ripoff.
Yes, that is the Harry Potter stuff. So it's based off of what? What is it? It says
School of Mages.
Yep. So hopefully there's a Harry, but just maybe his first name is Larry. Larry Potter. That didn't work. Harry Potter. It should have been Perry Hotter. There we go.
Wow, I didn't know you were into Luke Perry.
Just a little bit hotter of a Luke Perry.
Oh,
Perry Hotter.
Didn't know you could do that. So I mean, like, in my mind, this set's going to be about like wizards, mages, maybe druids. Harry. Just like the magical versions for each color.
Do you think they'll do the similar thing that they're doing with Zendikar and they have a party of wizards and all that stuff? I think that, never mind. That's Dungeons and Dragons thing, so that's why that's
going to be the dungeon. But I think it feeds into it a bit.
Yeah.
Where you're getting more choices for your wizards and stuff like that.
Maybe they'll call it a partay. God, just bad with the jokes today. Just need to stop.
Are you taking pain pills still?
This is probably because you're not drinking and you're not jumping along with me on this. And normally I'm a lot funnier to you because you've had a couple. Now that you're sober, this sucks. I blame you.
This compliment of you liking me buzzing?
Yeah. Normally it's you're picking on me. Stop picking on me, Larry. You're drunk. All right, then this is the longest breakdown of just telling about sets because we're just making fun of it. Anyways, then the next one is actually Dungeons and Dragons. It's Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. So this is a Dungeons and Dragons themed set.
This is going to be like a core set,
which is cool. I'm glad that we're getting rid of core in a way.
Again, it just came back.
It's been back for 2 years and now it's gone again.
Yeah, maybe 3.
But it'd be cool if the core set they are replacing it with crossover stuff like this. This could have been the spot of
why is that cool?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people, and probably what is it?
There was a bunch of people on the Discord excited for this.
That's what I was gonna say. Hey, number 2 is really excited probably for it because he's a dungeon master himself, and probably a lot of our listeners are a dungeon masters. I've never played the game, but it sounds fun.
Do you even know what Dungeon Master means?
Yeah, you're the one that creates the game and does all the stuff. And
all right.
Yeah. Nice try.
I'm glad you told me. I didn't really know.
Oh, I thought you were actually trying. Dummy, you don't even know. Stupid.
That's how I was playing it off. But I was like, why? He direct messages us all the time. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Why am I laughing so much at your dad jokes today? This is...
I'm drunk. You are drunk.
It's this damn tiger beer. Okay, then I think the thing I'm most excited about for the next year, and I'm actually going to start saving a side savings for this set because Modern Horizons 2 comes out, and not because Modern Horizons 2 comes out. It's what's coming with it. They're having the fetches come back, and it's only going to be the
enemy
ones, the 5 fetches. Enemy ones. So, but they're going to be at a rare slot, which is what they were. They were a rare slot when they were in, was it not Ultimate Masters? It was Eternal No. One of those Masters.
It was Modern Masters.
Yeah. So, I'm going to be, depending on what else is in there, but really going after those fetches in that one. Because at a rare slot, you're going to get quite a few of those if you get enough boxes. What are your thoughts on Modern Horizons 2? Good.
I've been pretthis inaccurate the last year on what my predictions would be. My predictions are
what?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is amazing. That is going to be cut up and used a lot.
Won't be as powerful as Modern Horizons 1.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
I think they're blowing their load on the fetches.
Yeah,
that's where
a lot of your value is going to be. They're going to be, and again, I could be wrong, but generally, it's what they do. They come out with a really good idea, like Modern Horizons, and they blow it out of the water. Everybody loves it. It sells a ton of stuff, and then they drop the value out slowly, until nobody buys it.
They do Modern Horizons.
This is a failure,
and then they go, "Oh, guess what? We're killing Modern because Pioneer is here." And I think really Pioneer would still be going if we didn't have COVID hit, because they haven't had any, and I'm not an expert with that. I've only listened to other casts talk about it, but I mean, they really haven't had any in paper tournament stuff for Pioneer. So I don't know. It's weird that Modern Horizons, because it's coming, all the stuff in that is starting to go up from Modern Horizons 1. Yeah, I mean, you had your top end stuff, but all the other things are starting to get up there in price.
Yeah, it was a great set, like we said, and I doubt that this will be as good.
I think
it's still going to be good, but just not as good. They just like to drop the value back until they're like, there's not enough value, nobody buys it, and then they're like, this doesn't work anymore, and nobody likes it. And then everybody's like, no, you just continued to make this worse. It's very disappointing.
So the interesting thing already off the bat with this is Modern Horizons thing was that, hey, every card in this set wasn't in Modern before. It's either new or wasn't in Modern. Well, they're already breaking that by the fetches are in it. So they're not following that same.
Oh, that's a really good point.
So I don't know if that's even going to be a thing in this, because that was kind of the cool thing about Modern Horizons 1 is
just get old cards or new cards. Yeah. A lot of people don't have those older cards.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then
are you complaining? Are you complaining? That's it.
Wait, you just said it differently. Are you complaining or are you just complaining? The first one. Then I don't know how this. So are these two standard sets?
Yeah. And it looks like they're being released at the same time.
Right. So Innistrad werewolves and Innistrad vampires.
I'm going to assume that everybody's going to buy vampires because werewolves are underpowered.
Maybe they're powering up here. I don't know.
Like they're 2 decades late off of shiny vampires. What's that one? Sparkling one.
The what?
When vampires.
I want to see you explain this.
In a movie.
Oh, you're talking about Twilight. That's the sparkle.
Is it going to be vampires versus werewolves like Twilight?
But wasn't that
all of that last stuff?
Wasn't that what Innistrad was though? Like that came around the same time as Twilight.
No.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, like they were both in it, but they weren't fighting each other.
No, that's what I was hearing. Is that I guess not fighting each other, but.
No.
I thought that's what the Innistrad stuff was kind of based off of, is that it's more, they were kind of like, hey, Twilight's huge right now, so we're going to make this set that's a lot of vampires and werewolves and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be accurate, though, because they went with Gothic horror, which is that was their set theme, and those two definitely fit into that theme. So maybe they're like, hey, what is Twilight? Is it gothic horror? Okay, let's make this a bigger brand. But like, I like the fairy tale theme of, Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah,
I think it's more similar to that idea. And this seems more like they're probably battling out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yep, those fists together, that means battling.
Yep. I think it'll be interesting. Like, I wonder if it's, going to be a little bit more seeded packs, almost like Jumpstart was a start to it. Like, instead of getting random packs and then you find out what the pack you're opening, this is like you're going to get Werewolf heavy box, and you're going to get a Vampires heavy box.
So this is gonna jump a little bit ahead with stuff to be our next little part. But did you watch Gavin open up those packs from the set booster or whatever?
No.
Okay, so
I didn't watch it.
What you're saying right there fits into what he did in that. So he opened the set booster box, which we're gonna get to that in a second. By the first card that he reveals, I believe, it told him what the next 3 cards were going to be, like the themes of them. So if the first card was a 1+1 counter, the next 3 common, like it would be a common. So it'd be like, oh, okay, this one's dealing with 1+1 counters and flying. Either the next cards are going to be based on flying or 1+1 counters. So they try to make each of the commons and uncommons fit into the same stuff. So you might be right that the boosters fit into a theme. So you the jumpstart mentality of it. Because they're already doing it with the set boosters, which was interesting because I've never seen. He's like, okay, well, this is going to be, this one's dealing with evasion, and that's what the next 3 are. So that's
interesting,
different because everything else seemed to be more random, right? In a pack.
Yeah, most packs in Magic's history have been random. And so they started seeding packs in my mind when they started doing the like pre-release kits. Like, hey, and that might have been right around cons when they started that. And so they're like, hey, do you want to be a part of this, I am forgetting every single tribe from cons. But, Red Mardu. Do you want to be a part of Mardu? You're going to get red, white, and black cards. And that I feel like is when they started. And I like the idea of it, but it feels weird that it's going into normal product now.
Yeah. So why don't we jump into that? So let's go into Zendikar Rising. Like I said, there's more. So we have a couple different booster boxes. So like I was just talking about the set boosters, there is, we can probably find that. I can send you that video, but Larry, we can probably link that video, giving you more work to do.
What am I doing? Link video. Which one?
The Gavin video of him opening the booster box. So he shows how the set booster, how he opens that. It shows, which is one of the things with the set booster box, you get 1 of 30 expeditions. So expeditions are back in Zendikar. And let's hit the expeditions really quick before we start breaking down all the packs and stuff. So each of the special stuff. No, it's even the set boosters, the regular booster. What are they called again? I didn't realize that they had a name
draft
until
boosters.
today. Yeah, draft boosters. I was like, what are draft boosters? And that's the normal booster. Like, who calls it draft boosters? It's like, that's what it's been called, but we never had anything different. I'm like, oh. So we have set boosters, draft boosters, and collector boosters. We all know those, but the draft boosters or set boosters are the new thing this time. But every single one of them has one of these 30. If you buy a box, has one of these 30 expeditions. So expeditions, if you guys don't remember, was what? Kaladesh? Is that when we first saw expeditions?
No, that Battle for Zendikar was the first one.
Oh yeah,
and so that's what they're expeditions.
Yeah. So we have what, all 10 fetches in here with sweet, awesome, full-ish art. One thing you noticed, which was pretty cool, you pointed out before we started the cast, was with the text box stuff.
Yeah, so like where it says land or would have said land, that's removed and put down towards the bottom of the text box. And to me, I like it. It makes it a lot cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And like it makes, because it is foolish art. There's still like the text box there.
Yeah.
And then you can see the art in the background just kind of faded away. And I think this helps give more space to that.
Yeah.
Along with like not breaking it so much. So it feels more like a full piece of art. I like it.
Yep, I dig it. And then I also like the surrounding border to them, kind of like a stone.
A hedron stone?
There we go. Look to them. And then whatever land colors it's dealing with, that's the color that you have on each side. So kind of like we've been dealing. If you look at like other cards, fetches, like the newer fetches and stuff, you always have that. The text box especially has the two different colors coming through. This doesn't do that. All these have the across, it's one color across the whole thing, but the edges have the different colors. So if you're dealing with a red, white land, arid mesa, you have white taking up half the card and red taking up the other half. So it's pretty sweet how that looks. But so we have all the fetches. We have a couple random cards. We have fast lands. Is that what those are called?
Fast lands from Scars of Mirrodin. You got some good ones like Ancient Tomb and Wasteland.
Cavern of Souls.
You have the
Celestial Colonnade actually looks pretty sweet. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think I like the Creeping Tar Pit a bit more, but those are the only two man lands.
Which are the two decent ones. Yeah.
Yeah. They're both really, they have at least a history of being solid. You have
my favorite art.
Why can't I remember the set? Man, I am off today.
Which one?
The Bountiful Promenade.
Oh, Battle Bond.
Battle Bond lands. So you got 5 of those, which is really nice.
And you have, I knew from the pic, like as soon as I saw the art because it was in Japanese before I could even see what the card did, but Grove of the Burnwillows, that's one of my favorite art. Not this one in particular. I do like this one, but you can tell by their willow trees they keep doing the same thing, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. But the original one is my favorite art, probably in Magic. I try to find that picture in real life.
Yeah.
Cool story.
So there's a lot of really cool lands here.
Well, and then you also got Prismatic Vista in here. What else is different? We got one Canopy land, Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle.
Strip Mine.
Wasteland. Yeah, so I think they're going to be really desirable. They're more obtainable than last time, which I think to me is really important because like I know we've talked about stuff. It's just like when there's something so hard to get, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like there has to be that like, you know what, this is actually obtainable. I can probably collect this, but when it's one per case, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to open this.
Well, wasn't it the old expeditions? Was it one per case or was it one per 2 case? It was one per case, wasn't it?
It was roughly one per case. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 6.3 boxes needed to be opened.
So the interesting thing with these is, do you think that, well, let's go through it quick. Okay. So these are going to be, you're going to get one in every box of a set booster, every box of a draft booster. So they're box toppers. We'll have one in there. Non-foil. Both of these are non-foil. And then there's going to be 2 in a collector booster. All of these are non-foil. But
as the box topper.
But the collector boosters is the only place that you could get them as a foil in one of the slots that is designated to that potentially being there. We'll get the breakdown of that in a second. Just talking about the fetches right there, do you think that this drives the price down quite a bit on fetches now? Like,
no.
Well, think about it though.
No.
These are going to be in every booster box. We and you always buy a booster box when we're doing that.
Yeah, but
and you get
it doesn't
fetch
guarantee a fetch. It's 30.
I guess 30.
A chance at 30. So if you bought,
you got a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
So
I don't think so. I don't think it drives it down.
But you have
because when you open up a box with it in, so like Modern Horizons, that's going to have 3 fetches in it. Like it's not going to drive the fetch price down when you get 1.
I just think that there's, I guess, because you're right. Because in the box, you can't open these in packs, so that does help a little bit with that. But it is guaranteed that you're getting a expedition, not necessarily a fetch. I don't know.
I don't think it changes the price at all.
You don't think so?
I think here's the question for you: does this cheapen the idea of expeditions in the past or inventions and stuff like that? If they're going to come back to the idea and turning this into a box topper and easier to get, or are they different enough?
Are you saying the old ones are?
Yeah. Does this cheapen the old ones when they're harder to get?
There's so it still goes on rarity. Like,
yeah, should they call this expeditions or something else?
I like the idea of expeditions
because inventions was artifacts and invocations was for Calid or whatever.
The shitty one.
Nobody liked that one. Amonkhet.
They should just call it the shitty one.
And so I think it's weird that they do call it that and they just don't call it some other
name
thing.
But if they're trying to drive that this is a thing that they're going to keep coming back to, you know.
Yeah, but they won't call it expeditions next time.
Why wouldn't they call it again?
Because expeditions is almost specifically for lands.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying if they go to if they come back to
Kaladesh, they'll call it inventions.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying if they come back here with lands, expeditions again, it'd be better if they probably called it Expeditions 2
as well. Yeah. So I think the wording is a little weird unless if you can come up with a term that would justify that going forward, unless they don't plan on doing it in Kaldheim or Innistrad, or, you know, if they don't plan on doing that anymore, then maybe it doesn't matter. But are they going to come up with a different name for it every set coming forward? So, because it seems like they're sticking with collector's boosters.
Yeah, because it sells.
It sells.
I mean, okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out here, what I want to do. We kind of talked a little bit beforehand, but let's go through really quick the difference of everything. So draft boosters, nothing's really changed with that except for this box topper. You get an expedition non-foil in it. The new thing is the set boosters, which, do you have a grasp on that? Do you want to go over that quick at all?
I want them. I think this is what this product is for me. So, but you get a chance of up to 4 rares, 1 foil in every pack. 1 in 4 packs contain a card from the list, which is slow roll being revealed. But like Food Chain is in it. Yeah, that's the big one.
Muscle Sliver, Cloud Goat Ranger, Pact of Negation, Simian Spirit Guide, Slimefoot, and Parallax Wave are the 7 right now.
They'll have alternate frames in them. 1 art card, which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. 1 in 20 are foil stamped though, Lowry.
Yeah, I know. Super psyched for that. Do you know where my art cards from Modern Horizons are?
Mine are in a huge fucking box that I can't get rid of. I tried to get rid of those fuckers.
Bulk box, for sure.
Well, you should see Gavin when he opens it and he gets all excited about it. He gets one with a gold stamp.
Well, because he's a salesman. What do you think?
I got a golden ticket.
And then 12 game cards total.
So
I think there's less cards in it, which is nice for me. You know, it's 3 less cards, but you get a higher chance at rares. I'd much rather have rares and uncommons than most commons. So I feel like I'm going to have less
shit to get rid of.
Yeah. Well, it's a store or figure out.
Turn into proxies. No, we
so that and they're a little bit more expensive. If I remember right, they're like $5 and change. and the box it's a bit more expensive than a drafting box as well. I think if I'm remembering right, it was like $130 for the box.
And those come with 30 packs.
So a couple less packs, but you're probably gonna get more rares. And you just have more chances of value. So I think that one is pretty good for me.
Yeah. I agree. I would take that over. I will say a side note to both of these. I probably wouldn't ever just buy a pack of this because you're kind of losing out if you don't buy a box to get those fetches or a potential for a fetch. You get an expedition with every booster box. So I probably wouldn't. This would be something that I wouldn't go and I'm at Target and I'll just buy a couple packs of these because why not save up, try to get that booster box and get the bonus with it as well. Okay, so then we jump into collector boosters, which we all know the collector boosters. They come with a lot of stuff. The one thing that's a little different here is there is one slot that has a chance to get either a foil expedition, a foil showcase, a foil borderless, or a foil extended art rare or mythic rare. So this is that spot where you could potentially get another expedition in there. I don't know what the breakdown or chances are of that, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different spots. Types of things that could be in this spot. So to get that foil is, I'm not even going to guess, but how many packs come with this again? They're 12 boosters. So.
If you got one per box, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Well, if they do it evenly, there's 12 booster packs in a box. You really should be getting, 4, 8, 12. So you're not even one. So yeah, it'd be a little less than one per box. Right? Am I calculating that right? 3, 6.
9. I'm not doing any math right now.
No, it'd be 3 per box.
3 expeditions per box?
No, if everything was even. You know what I'm saying? If each of these had the even chance to get that.
Oh.
Because you have 4 slots.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but that's not the case.
No. A girl can dream, Lowry. A girl can dream. But it also, each pack contains the foil showcase, common or uncommon showcase, or borderless, rare, or mythic rare, showcase, common or uncommon. It's the same drop as everything else, but the added thing, well, I guess you also get a foil full art basic land. So we have more. I'm kind of disappointed with this. Full art basic lands because we just continue to get full art stuff. So now they're full art basic lands. So now they're not becoming as special. They need to be special. They're not special anymore.
I think that's some of this card art is really cool. So I'm
the basics
right with this. Yeah,
I think
the art they upped the art ability from Battle from Zendikar. Battle from Zendikar was woof.
Well, they copied. They used the same shit from Zendikar.
No, not true. They chose one set from Zendikar and then 2 or 3 new arts. And so they chose the worst arts from Zendikar to get into Battle for Zendikar.
Because I have multiples of the Bowl Island. That's one from each. And then I also have multiples of the other ones, with my lands with Battle for Zendikar and Zendikar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They chose one from Zendikar for each color and brought it over into.
I just thought I had Zendikar. A couple of those, but yeah. Tomato. I don't know. I like it. I like we got more, but then I'm it's making the full arts not as awesome as I like them. You know me and my full art basically.
Yeah, I know. You guys bought so many packs off of full arts and you're so happy about it. And now you're like, wah, wah. And I'm you know what? I didn't buy them for that. And I'm still happy that they're around.
I'll tell you, I'll never turn any of them into proxies like the other basics. Other basics are just garbage to me right now. They're garbage. They're proxies.
Garbage.
Okay. So the difference with the collector boosters is they have the box contains 2 also of the expeditions. So Currently, last I checked on eBay, these are going for about $210 for 12 packs. I don't know. I'm in the same boat with you. If I'm going to get, at the very least, I'd get set boosters, but I'm very tempted to go collector just for that. It just depends on that drop rate, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the set boosters are clear for me, my best buy, personally. So, I'm going to run that way. I'm because, like, just spending 200 plus on standard seems rough. But, you know, like 30, 40 more bucks than a normal box for just like higher quality cards seems better to me than a normal draft box too. So,
yeah, and that's what we kind of been
think
talking about.
They hit it right there for me where I'm like, I feel good about this.
I think they needed to do something there because I think the regular boosters, like I've been saying for a little bit now, it's garbage opening those. There's no value in them at all because of collector boosters.
If you're not drafting. If you're drafting, there's, you know, the yes. play aspect of it.
But if you're opening like we do, it does not make sense to open those. You just, if you want cards from it, just buy the singles. Especially for this set, if you just want certain cards out of it, do not buy the booster boxes or anything. Get the singles because these are going to be so fucking cheap because you got so many people are going to be opening these for fetches, expeditions. You're going to have these 3 different things. People are going to, the rares and everything are going to be so cheap in this that you're going to be able to get the best stuff for
cheap.
Really, like $5. I can't imagine much being much over that, you know? I mean, there will be, of course, but there's
some crazy cards in this. I can definitely see.
Yeah, but if there's a shit ton of them being opened, the prices are going to plummet on this. If everybody's trying to get the expeditions and they're just opening and opening and opening, the prices are going to go way down on this. And we've only seen a quarter, a third of everything so far.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm not paying attention at all.
I will say, I know we're not going to talk about the card stuff, but I want to talk about
the card stuff.
I personally like the flip stuff. The flip lands are pretty sweet.
Well, that could have been part of what we're doing. Do we want to talk mechanics? I don't think it's all out. Let's talk mechanics later.
Yeah. I love the flip lands.
All right. I think they're really cool.
I like the flip lands.
You're abusing talking over the mic like this. This is only meant for time differences.
A few minutes later. We're like little kids. We're like little kids with a new toy because I really do. I want that to be a thing now because it's a lot of fun. It sounds beautiful in my ears. All right. All right. What are we doing next? We are going into politics. Let's see if we can. This probably fits perfect for politics. Nope. Just a bunch of swearing. Politics in Magic. I think we've talked about this a little bit before. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to bring up again. Where do we even go with this? How do we talk about it?
Okay, so I think in the past we have said that we don't do much politics. And, you know, you sit back and think about, like, politics isn't only, let's just start off with this. Politics is not only wheeling and dealing. Yeah. Like, hey, do you want to be my friend? How about I don't attack you and you do this for me? That's not the only thing that politics is, but that's the most obvious thing.
Right.
Right. And that's something that we don't do a ton of. I've started within the last probably year of doing it, and then people don't like doing it with me anyway.
But what happens is Larry goes, hey, if you don't attack me, I won't kill you until you're last. Like, it's almost like a backhanded slap. You're like, you can take second place. I'll let you take second place. Like,
so there's probably some minutia there that I could get better at.
I personally, like, Politics is weird for me because I will say when we were first doing Commander and playing Commander and stuff, I did not like table talk. Well, there was some stuff that happened with that, but I didn't like table talk. Like, especially when somebody would die and then table talk some more. And like, that was like, whatever. And so I think that's kind of scarred me with that, where I don't like to say anything during the game to persuade somebody. Because I guess in my head, how I've always taken it is, if my deck can't win by just me playing, if it has to win by me talking, then my deck isn't that good. But the thing is what I've come to realize a little bit over the last couple of years, is it's fun to try to persuade people. It doesn't mean that your deck isn't working. It's just a different parts of the game. I think
it's also a different mentality too. Like what you're thinking is very accurate for like 1v1.
Right. And that's where I think it's changed.
You don't have that chance to talk. But like when there's 3 other players, it's not so obvious of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to make those alliances or talk people out of attacking you or destroying your stuff or any of that kind of thing helps you.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different angle. And so just going over, like, I know one thing already, in our play group, I have a reputation to be targeted. So do you. But, my experience is worse than yours just because it's personal. But I do know that one thing that I do a lot of is I point things out. I'm very verbal on, hey, he just did that.
Which kind of triggered the kill him segment that we had about a year and a half ago, where we went through the cards, because that's what you're really good at doing, is being like, that's really bad, we need to get rid of that. And then you bring the table's attention to that. And that's kind of where the kill him token stemmed from, is that trait that you do.
And if for me personally, what that does is if I'm going, hey, that card's crazy good, that person that has a crazy good card just went, oh, you're the mouthy guy that I'm going to go after. Like, I'm like, somebody help me. That's what ends up happening. It's like, crazy good cards coming after me. Let's all do something about this thing that's affecting me. And nobody cares, and I die. And so I'm very blunt about it, which puts a target on my head. And that's something that I understand, but that's part of politics, and you need to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
And so that's, one of the things when you start thinking about politics, it's like, it's just how the general term of politics should be. How does the board interact, and how are you interacting with the players? That's all politics is.
You do have your typical players that do certain, like, this person's always the deal person, this one doesn't, this one does this.
Personalities.
So the one that we probably talked about when we did this last time, the biggest politics thing that ever really, not biggest, but the infamous one was when, how did that happen? Where Tyson was attacking Trombley, and I think I made the dumb mistake and pointed out that Trombley was going to be dead by the time it came to my turn because of Tyson's attack. And I think Trombley realized it and was like, shit, and convinced Tyson to not attack me, which would in turn give Trombley the win, because I was like, what are you doing? He's going to win. I'm going to kill him. We need him dead. He's like, no, I'm changing my mind. I'm going this way. And I was like, you're not ready for fucking tournaments. And so I got so pissed. I think that's the last time I've been pissed in Magic. Like, I was just like, I can't believe that you got changed. But I think what ended up happening is, I don't think I died. I think I ended up winning the game somehow. I don't remember. But anyways, I
was already out of the game at that point.
But yeah, it was funny because I remember there was this light bulb that popped up in Trombley's head, and he was like, oh shit, he's right. Okay, I got to get Tyson to change. And then he did it. And I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, I was so pissed. And it's just, I can't do that. Like, I guess that's not what I'm good at. When people are deciding how they're going to attack, unless there's an obvious, like, hey, the board, we're all going to be dead if this thing doesn't go, I normally stay silent because I just let players just like figure it out for themselves. But there's a lot of people that are very good at persuading people to go out. And a lot of times, like you said, it's either you or I stuff or we're the targets. And that happens a lot. And I kind of I never fight back, I guess. It's the politics suck.
We just roll over. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't like it. What, like, even entering into a new game.
Oh,
like, think about
this.
I
have some things on here for that, but go ahead.
But if you won the last game in a dominating fashion where everybody is kind of groaning, they're like,
you're dead. You're dead.
You just politicsed your way out of the next game.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of, unless number 2's playing, because then he, for some reason, changes his mind when we all have an alliance to kill Lowry. And then leaves you alive, and then you win the game again. It's like,
I don't think I won that game. I might have won.
I think you did. He left you alive, and you ended up winning again. And we're like, what are you doing? I think he even killed me in that backstab there. We're like, all right, alliance, kill Lowry first.
Because you had it was like 180 trampler.
And he's like, okay, I have Lowry, but Adam, you die. And I'm like, son of a bitch. What is up with this backstab?
That would have been a lot of wasted damage towards me. But so if you can politics your way out of your second game by the way that you win the first game.
For sure.
Right. If you eke it out and it's a really good game, almost nobody's really going to remember that you won that game. But if you're a cocky asshole or you just combo out super quick, if you are obvious and you're just going like, you know what, I'm going to torment in hellfire for 180. Everybody's going to, it's going to make it a little sore. You know, where you're just like,
I think it's more,
or I think it's more super quick.
I think it's more oppressive. If the game sucks, like, you know, where no one's doing anything, then people will come after you on the next game. Like, that's just, that's in my mentality. I was like, well, that game sucked, so I'm going to make sure that you're dead first because you need to feel what I just felt for the last 45 minutes, you know? And that kind of ties in a little bit to the one politics. I don't know if you call this politics. I'm not a fan of the revenge players. Because then people get scared to attack that person because they don't want revenge. And then it's just like, well, this sucks because then no one's attacking. Because then you have a person that's just going, we don't have that in our group anymore. But we did.
Anymore. We did.
We did. So that's just...
and for that player, I remember the last time that we played, I was playing the red commander that tapped and dealt damage half to everybody's life. And then I had I cursed him with a double damage. And so I had it just threatened. I was like, I tap this, you're dead. He's like, I'm going to attack you with a 10-10. I'm like, you son of a bitch, kill it. You're dead. It was just like, that was his revenge, was to just die as quick as possible.
But then the next game, you were target number 1, I guarantee.
Actually, that was I played that after the Talran deck that I just locked the whole table down. So like I locked the whole table down. That was the miserable game that everybody hated. And so I switched up the deck knowing that I was going to be a target. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make this game as quick as possible and make sure, cut everybody's life in half. I think I ended up winning that game, and then I just didn't win the rest of the weekend. So because it was so oppressive and so quick, and it wasn't fun for anybody that I just got hated out of the rest of the games.
Now,
and that can definitely happen.
I want to say 2 things about a revenge player. If you do it every once in a while, it's funny, it's cool, I like it. But if that is you, if that defines how you play, you might want to change how you look at the game, because then that's just more of, unless it's all out of fun and whatever, but that wasn't fun, because it turns into everybody's scared to attack that person because they're not scared, but it turns into this mindless, I'm just going after you. I don't care if we're all going to lose. I'm going after you. It's funny when it happens every once in a while, but when that happens where that's your thing, it sucks.
If there's no strategy to it,
I'm not saying change as a player, but change as a player.
But change as a person.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a lot of people like that. And so I think you got to be a little bit more conscious of it. Because if you're just attacking on one person, they're using all their resources on you and you're using all their resources on them, the other two players are just building and laughing at you.
Saying thank you. Because
all right, well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, our cousin would do that similar thing. I may bleep his name out there.
All right.
But he is a grudge player, and man, he attacked him, and then it was game over. It's not even in Magic. That was just like in everything.
In every game.
It was just, I don't know. So I it's kind of like a PSA. Sometimes analyze your game a little bit. Just see how you react, what you do when you lose. I've personally tried to be better. I think I would get a little more salty back in the day because I built my decks and I always wanted to win, where I think my mentality has changed a little bit. Like we've talked about that. Yeah. I have a thing that I want my deck to do. And if it does that thing, it's kind of like a win for me when it does that. It's fun to win, but it's more fun to just have everybody do their thing. So when everybody's getting to do their stuff and everything, and it's a good game, and you end up being the winner in the end, hey, that's cool. I at least want to. Don't get me wrong. I want to win a few games at the end of the day, and I would prefer to be the one that's like, hey, I'm at the top. I won more games, but it doesn't ruin my world if I'm not. Whereas I would say before, I built these decks to win, and that was when we used tutors and stuff like that. Where it was like, this is fine tuned. This is what I'm supposed to do. Why am I not winning? I would I would be done with Magic, and I'd be like, it sucks. I didn't win as many games as I should have, and then it's not fun anymore. It's more of you're playing CDH, or I'm not saying CDH isn't fun, but it's that mentality is you have to be the winner. You have to be the winner. Whereas I don't know. That's not how Commander is. There's a winner, but it's more of hanging out, building a sweet deck, having good mechanics having good chats and all that. And if you're just angry all the time and people aren't talking to you or you're not having conversations, why are you playing? What are you doing?
You're just playing a different game.
Yeah.
And so.
And I'm not pointing out any in particular. It might have sounded like that. I know.
You're pointing out you on that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I was probably that way as well. I just don't think I verbalized it in my head. But if you're losing a lot, it's not fun either.
Yeah.
Like if your deck isn't working and you're not winning, like that's not fun. Like, yeah, it's bigger if my deck isn't working. That's not fun. I want my deck to work. So another type of politics, even before you're starting the game, is who is your commander? And does it have a reputation within your play group or just in general? Yeah. So if I come down and Trombley's playing Grand Arbiter or Grand Augustine Arbiter the Fifth or whatever,
he's our target.
The one he's the target, straight up. And that's anywhere though too. Mm-hmm. Like Trombley's deck has a reputation of just being locked down miserable. So you're like, okay, we got to deal with that first. That's the easy politics right there off the bat. But in general, everybody knows that deck sucks. Zurthy Enchanter, like these really big lockdown guys are just really oppressive commanders. Chulane is an issue. And when you're playing that, you sit down and people instantly know, okay, we got to deal with this guy, or at least focus on him, not let him get going too much. If you can deal with it, you deal with it. And so I think that's you want to avoid those decks if you're going into a new play group.
Yeah.
And because new play groups are a different dynamic than what you're used to. And if you're showing up and it's not CEDH, don't bring your best decks. Don't bring your best commanders.
Bring your fun ones.
Feather. Bring your fun ones. Don't get the reputation that you're just, as the kids call it, pub stomping. I don't know really what that means, but just going in, destroying a whole table a bunch of times and then going, well, that was fun. And then you just have that reputation. It's really hard to get rid of because it's a first impression.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to be like the pushover either. Don't build bad decks. And sometimes that's even hard to know, but probably bring a fun deck.
Bring a deck that has a good run. Yeah. The bad decks, if it's a new deck, it might be a bad deck. It might be a really good deck. You might not, sometimes cards are decks are so random and you don't know what you're walking into. Definitely bring like a fun deck because bring your Atraxa deck. Just kidding.
No,
bring your Sliver deck.
I did that a few years ago before my son was born, and I walked into a game store and I brought Brea, and I just destroyed. Because
you didn't know the level of everybody else, and
you don't know the level. And the next time I brought back Hug Brothers, and I still destroyed with that, and that was like the worst deck I built that year.
And you were like, I was like, gotta tune shit down.
Yeah, and well, no, I actually just stopped going.
Yeah, you started playing tap lands, is what you started doing.
Yeah, and so like me being there wasn't fun for me either.
Yeah.
And then you start getting this bad reputation, and I was just like, this isn't for me right now. So, that is some more advice when it comes to that.
So I guess we didn't really, politics wise, I have different stuff for the types of players, but I don't think that's really dealing with politics. Sometimes you have the players that, I guess, where do you fit in with the politics stuff? What's your type of politics? You do try to cut deals, and very rarely it does work, but you don't try very often. And I don't think I maybe have done one in the last couple of years, but I can't even remember that time, So a lot of times I'm the one just sitting there listening to all the politics go around, and I'm just like, fuck, I should say something, but I just don't know what to do. I just don't even know how to jump off. We should have somebody in here that's a very politics player and ask them questions. We should have done this as an interview. That's what we should have done. Damn it.
We can still do that. If people are like, you're bad at politics, it's like, well, I still get a vote.
Yeah.
And so I think you're probably right, but you just got to probably analyze how we do it more. So for me, just how I play is part of it, is also kind of a problem. What I end up doing is trying to go and control the biggest issue out there. That's why I'm always pointing out the biggest card, and then I'm always trying to have that answer to deal with it. But what that does is that individually makes everybody focus on me.
Yeah.
And they're, you just you answered my fun thing that I wanted to do. And Lowry, you're going to pay for that. And maybe they're not even thinking that, but that's what ends up they're always looking at me because I'm paying attention to everything as best I can. And so that can, technically that's bad politics. Instead, I could be like, hey, I can still go, I'm going to do that. Or I can be like, hey, what does everybody want to get rid of?
You do that a little bit more lately.
I do it, but still everybody just do what you want. They're angry at me for some reason. And so that
name is Lowry.
Trying to involve everybody to make sure that it's not just me making the decision. That's a good way to make, not have it be focused on me as much. But
I think one thing I've noticed over the last few years with stuff is how I do things like working wise and whatever. I try to be efficient. So
yeah,
I try to make things like if I'm going into the basement, I want to make sure that I'm bringing something down there that needs to go down. You know, I'm trying to bring things that need to go down there instead of wasting trips. I do that like with everything. So with Magic, I don't want to waste a turn. Like if I have mana open, I'm like, okay, well, I want to play this and this and this. Sometimes what that would do is, or I should say a lot of times what ends up happening is I become the arch enemy. The kill him token goes to me early in the game. And if you're the one that gets it early in the game, you typically are not the winner of that game. And so what I know I've done, I know I do this personally over the last year and change, is that I don't play things purposely to become the target, because the target, that's politics in a way. You don't want to be the threat that early on, because then it's 3 against 1 right at the beginning and it can be bad. Unless you have such an advantage that no one can, you know, if it's really early and you have that big of an advantage, then you just go with it. And sometimes I have had that a couple times recently, but a lot of times you just got to hold back on things. Don't try to frickin' turn in 3 against 1, because you're not going to win, especially if it's early on, unless you have that control.
I enjoy that challenge.
I
enjoy the 3-on-1.
It is fun.
Silly of me. It's not the way to do it, but
it's fun when you're able to have control with it. But if it's early mid game ish, not mid, I'd say early ish, where people are still going and people aren't mana screwed or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, it really backfires. Or do what I think. I think that they should do a little study on this, or we should do a study on this. See who the weakest player is, who's having the most trouble getting going in every game, and see how often that player is the winner, because I feel like that's like 99% of the time.
It's not 99%.
I know, I'm kidding. It's really high, though.
Proportionately higher than it should be.
For a player that is so far behind everybody else, even if that number is 30% of the time, I feel like that's way too high for a player that's struggling. Because what ended up happening is everybody goes, "Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad." Or even like when you have like the giving people stuff, like, well, I'll give it to that player because that player's behind, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the player that's the furthest behind ends up winning, not more often than not, but more often than they should.
More often than they should. Yeah. I agree with that, because they should be dead real quick.
But that's not how that might be just our play group, because there's probably cutthroat play groups that just go, "Oh,
you fell behind,
you're dead." Yeah, where ours is like, we're killing the people that are the strongest, trying to get them down first.
Yeah.
So
I think, do you have an exit strategy? Like if you know that if there's like 3 players, or you're gonna go and you have removal, do you just try and make a person stronger so the game ends quicker, or do you try and even it out?
It depends on the situation. If somebody's been, and typically if I'm dying early and like there's still 3 players left, somebody's been a little more dickish to me than the others, and so that player normally is getting burned a little bit more.
I get it. And so you're a bit of the revenge player.
When I'm dying, yes. When I'm leaving the battlefield, I will try to take out the strongest player as much as I can. I guess that's probably not the smartest thing, because then sometimes the game might last another hour and I'm just sitting there. Yeah. But I will try to even it out, or sometimes I just won't do. If it's no one's been a dick and I just died, then I don't do anything. Then I just die, you know, or I commit suicide. I've done that recently where I'm like, "No, you're not killing me. I kill me." Remember when we were kids when mana burn was actually a thing? That's how we would kill ourselves. We were like, "You're not killing me. I'm tapping on my land and I'm dead." We
probably weren't even doing that right, though.
Yeah, probably not, because we were tapping it during the attack, and it's like, no, it has to end at the phase. And
at the end of phase, you would get the mana burn.
Whatever.
We were cheating back then too.
But yeah, what about you when you leave the battlefield when you're getting killed?
I am not 100% sure on what I don't do the same thing over and over, but I think I normally try and even it out.
Yeah, I think you.
Even though I think the better play is probably just to make a king and let that game try and end as quick as possible.
There's still some bitterness happening at that point. There's a reason why you're dying, and that person needs to suffer from you dying. Because you need to. I think what it is with me is like I need to feel like I left a little bit of a mark. Like, I'm the first to go, but I'm also knocking you down that maybe they will take you out, or Did
you ever play Halo?
Yes.
And I was always like the worst player, and so if I wasn't being headshot, somebody would come up and just start blasting me, and I'm trying to shoot them and I can't get them, and I just start throwing grenades. I'm like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. And then I die after
hoping that one of those grenades would get them.
And generally didn't, but it normally knocked down the armor.
Nice. I loved Halo.
That's how I am.
What were the sticky grenades? The ones that you could get it to stick to the player. Those were the best. When you could chuck it and nail somebody with it, and then you just see them running, and then
yeah. Oh, good time.
I didn't really have much more. I had a couple things like you have the passive player. You're fine if you're a passive player, but I think it's funny. There's a little trait that happens with passive players is they don't like to attack, so they just sit back and do their thing. And then to make it not look like they're the passive player, they'll go, all right, go. And then they'll be like, oh, darn, I should have attacked. Shoot. Well, I already said go. I'm not going to take it back. Go ahead. Your turn. That's not a politics thing. It's just a type of player. I mean,
that's part of it, though, because if you're not attacking, you're not being as obvious. Yeah, I mean, it's a personality trait, but personalities are part of politics.
I also had the even player, where it's kind of like you were saying with the dying thing, but then this is a lot of us do this. I do this all the time. You evenly kill everybody, and that's actually a detriment because you should really be picking out one person. But like we've talked about before, our games can last 3-4 hours potentially. You wipe somebody out and they're sitting there for that long, they might say, fuck this, I'm going home. So we tend to spread the love around, get everybody down to a certain point, and then you start taking out one person or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think we do that. Yeah, it's kind of conscious.
Yeah, totally.
But
I totally go, what's your life at? What's your life at? What's your life at? It's like, I'm at 37, I'm at 32, and I'm at 41. All right, well, 41 player, you're getting hit because you're above 40.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we totally do that.
Conscious. Yeah.
This one I do a lot is kind of like you had mentioned before. The last winner is the one that gets hit first. So it's always that first trying to decide who you're. Oh well, you won the game last time, so you're gonna die this time. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of what you were talking about before, but that's more of I do who I'm attacking first, and then that kind of wears off as the game goes on because then you realize who's really the dick. And then the dice roller. See, this is when I was starting to name different people.
Dice. What is the dice roll? Chance? Oh,
yeah.
I'm not going to attack you. You're 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
It was the dice's fault, not
me. So you let it not be on you, and people are like, "Oh, I guess he didn't really attack me. It was the dice." No, it doesn't work.
It was the dice. No, that does not work on me.
I don't know. Is there any others that I had on there? I had passive, revenge, dice roller, last winner, even player. And whoops, I forgot.
And there's the types of cards and play, like the counter spell player.
Ugh.
They're like, it can resolve.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And you're just like,
fuck you.
You wanted to counter spell my, like that was even a choice. Like,
my Llanowar elves, like they can resolve.
Oh, thank you, mighty counterspell player.
At that point, then you turn to him and like every time, sir, can I play this? Oh, fuck counterspell player.
May I have some more?
Yeah, please, sir. May I have some more?
Can I have some more permanents? Thank you.
Liege.
So yeah, there's the counterspell player that definitely gets a target, but at the same time, like
they give themselves that. That's a good. I love it.
But at the same time, when they play it off, I'm like, oh no, and then everybody's like, oh, I don't want to make them mad. I don't want to play my best stuff.
Yeah,
it's just like, God, you slowed the game down even more than you intend, because everybody becomes so timid, and all it is just a removal spell. So.
What about the player that is always asking what the life totals are? What's your life total?
I don't have a problem with that.
What's your life total?
I don't know what personality type does that.
That's normally the player that's about to combo off and win. And that's sometimes me.
How much life do you have? Can I do that much? Not yet. Hold, you can go.
Yeah. That's kind of like a counterspell player right there.
The Cyclonic Rift player, which is Adam.
See, I have to be sneaky about it now. I have to.
You've gotten better.
I know. I have to make it like stacked all weird so it doesn't look like I have 7 sitting there.
Look at this guy. He's fucking cheating.
No, it's not cheating.
You're going to have to ask. Hey,
no,
Adam, that's actually how I have combated that. I was like, Adam, how much land do you have?
Yeah, I know.
How much do you have?
But you didn't catch me on the Bruvac one. But what it is you tap. You have it so everybody can see your lands. You just don't make them so much in a row. You know, you have them all in different rows. So you have some of them that
you.
Yeah,
you manipulating.
Because I know Lowry's looking and counting.
I'm pretty bad right now at like, for some reason I'm not tracking well on.
It's a little tougher. It's a little tougher on Cockatrice to see exactly how many everybody has on tap.
It's better than webcam magic,
right?
In my opinion, but I'm still not tracking well. It's definitely a different game, but it's still fun.
I just need a bigger freaking monitor because I'm on this little laptop that I can't see shit.
So, but I think one thing going with Cyclonic Rift, and you can go with other cards, that if you get a reputation for playing them consistently, even if it's not the deck in that deck, somebody's going to expect you to have it. So I think a diversity of finishers is pretty good.
Well, I didn't have it in Bruvac, but then you said it should be in there. So then I figured everybody thought it would be in there anyway. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll put Cyclonic Rift back in there.
Yeah. I mean, I expect you to have it in every blue deck. We've basically based our whole podcast on that premise that you put Cyclonic Rift in your blue decks.
I can't let the people down.
Yeah. So I just, that's, if you gain that reputation, that is something. Or, and sometimes you just gain the reputation of doing janky stuff, and that they allow you to do janky stuff, right? It's like, they're doing their thing. If they're able to do that thing, that's great, but it's probably not going to work. So,
what example is that? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me?
No, number 2.
Oh, I can't wait for the text tomorrow.
That's not true. It actually works generally. So, but I mean, you know, those people that are like, you just wait until I get this card or this card, and I would have won. It's like,
you have 100 cards in a deck,
half of your 4-card combo. I don't think you're going to get there. So, but.
Oh man,
number 2s is a bit more streamlined than that.
No, it's funny,
but
you don't have to backtrack on it. I'm cutting that part out where you tried to like. That's all gone. That's all out of here. Just making you sound like a dick. I might even add some things in there.
Whatever.
I'll add some things in there where it makes you sound even worse. Like somewhere in the podcast where like he just is an asshole, and I'm just gonna splice that in there.
Yeah, and we can even go with Jeremy. So we're just going to psychologically analyze everybody
in our play group that no longer want to play with us.
Yeah. Jeremy's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
He's the doesn't really attack unless he has to, but then he just fucking wrecks you when you're not expecting it. So he's the kind of guy that'll be like, have a ton of little shits and has done nothing. And you're like, okay, I'm coming after you. And he's like, Sudden Sickening, all you guys are O2s, and I'm just going to kill a ton of them. You're like, fucking shit. Or Settle the Wreckage. You're like, all your stuff is exiled. Is that okay? Like, no.
Is that okay?
God damn it. I wasn't even attacking you, you asshole. Why would you settle the wreckage on me? Oh, well, you have the most, like, creatures. Like, I thought it'd be good to get rid of them. Like, yeah. Yes, it is good to get rid of them. You could have saved it until I attacked you. So, yeah. He's both things have happened to me.
So where's Trombley in this?
He's kind of the revenge
player. Yes. He's not the bad.
Not
he's not
to the extreme. No, he's the fun.
Yeah, it's the fun where I was like, he doesn't do it all the time, but it's funny every once in a while. It's funny because it can. The difference between a funny revenge player and a revenge player is that a revenge player, their eyes are on the prize, and that's all they're going for. Somebody else can hit them in the meantime, and they're still on that. Somebody else could fuck their board up even more. They're still after that one player. Whereas Trombley, it's funny because it's like, all right, you started. This is on you. This is on you. This is on you, Lowry. And then as soon as somebody else does something, he's like, all right, now it's on you, Adam. Like his revenge changes from player to player, but it's more shit talking, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So it's like the revenge is like a matador bull, where it's just like they only see red and they're not looking at everything else. Like they're not interacting with anybody else.
Right.
And they're upset almost.
Right. And that's what we get at is if that starts happening, you gotta realize yourself there. Just
maybe any of these situations, there's the upset version of it. And so if you're getting upset during the game, you got to figure out you got to have that conversation with your play group and go, I'm not having fun. Mm-hmm. How can I have fun? But you guys still have fun too. Like, what do I got to do? You know, because sometimes it's them, not you. And sometimes it's you, not them. Like,
are we breaking up, Lowry?
No. How many people are over there? It's them, not you.
It's not you. It's me. We can still be friends, but it's not you. But
I think if you're not having fun, you got to figure out why
you're
not having fun. And sometimes, I see a lot of people complain about Magic and getting tired of it, because of Arena. I think is a big issue. I think if you're playing a lot, if you're playing all the time, like 3-4 times a week. Like if we were doing our normal, like we'll do like 12-hour sessions. That's how we normally play with our play group. If we were doing that every week,
our wives would be pissed.
Yeah. Number one. Number two, I think after, at the end of month 2 or 3, we'd be like, I need a break.
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't do 12-hour sessions at that point.
It's short enough.
Yeah. But that's the fun of it. Like, I actually really we're like all over the place with it. It's not even politics anymore.
It's not really politics anymore.
The 12-hour sessions are just, it doesn't feel like, okay, what deck, I only have a limited time to play decks. It feels like we have forever until you're just done, and everybody kind of hits the point where just like, all right, I'm good.
Get out of your system.
Yep.
I'm good.
And normally dream about it that night. And it's so a
little bit.
Side note, I found out that Drake has this similar thing. Actually, probably everybody does. But he's playing on his iPad the other day. Oh, so another side note, Zeke injured his neck, strained it.
Oh.
And so on...
It's like a kink?
Yeah. But a 3-year-old doesn't know how to deal with that. So he didn't move his neck for 24 hours. And then we brought him into urgent care yesterday. And he still hadn't moved his neck. And the doctor moved him around and he's like, ow, ow, ow. Whereas before it was bloody murder if we moved him at all. Even driving there, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And she
so he was playing politics.
She's like, it sounds like you have a case of the kid's scared-itis. And he's like, oh. So because of that neck hurting, he just hadn't dealt with it. So he was freaking out. So back to the original part, we just stayed home or didn't do anything outside all day yesterday and the day before. And so Drake was on his iPad for a lot of the day. But then when he was trying to go to sleep, he was not dreaming yet. He was seeing what he was watching on his iPad, and it was freaking him out. And I was like, that's what happens with me in Magic cards. I go to sleep and I keep playing Magic cards if we play for 12 hours.
Cool story, bro.
It was a long way to get to my point with that, and I think it's because of this Tiger King beer. Oh, it's 8.6% alcohol. This is a huge beer.
That's like 4 beers in there.
I feel good. Real good. All right, back to politics. Are we done with this?
Beer doesn't mix well with painkillers. I'm just saying. It's bad on the liver.
Was there anything else? I don't have painkillers. I haven't had to take any for a while. Is there anything else we have with politics? Because we're at an hour and 35 minutes.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
What the
weird. Hell happened?
I dropped my pen, but only caught it, and then it like ricocheted off my tummy and then hit the mic. And then I caught it again.
It's like a Tony Hawk trick right there without the skateboard.
You mean a Lowry Smith trick right there? Because I can't be on a skateboard because I got fucking gout. Whatever. How about we do cool story for your long ass story?
That's a good point. I'll just
a little late.
Yeah,
I'll tie that
in there.
I think that's it. I'm sure there's a ton more. Maybe we'll come up with this segment again in like a year or two and repeat most of this, but add in 25% difference. And then we can call it Politics version 2, like they do in textbooks. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
I forgot that was supposed to be our between segment stuff, but
that should have been.
All right. Well, politics. I don't think we really solved anything there. We just talked about it.
Oh, that's actually how politics works.
It totally is. We stayed true to politics.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we should probably wrap this thing up. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Did you want to stop it right there? We can keep going if you really want to keep going.
I don't know what you mean. Like, is this a safe word?
See ya.
I don't know. Bye.
See ya.